Welcome to Caseback Watches. My name is Tim, and in this video our topic are two American watches from World War II in form of a very accurate reissue. And for me this is extremely interesting because I did this video about the German side, about watches for the German Wehrmacht. One of my oldest videos, watch it with mercy please. And so I can show you on the channel now both sides, which I think is pretty interesting. So I was contacted by Praesidus and they offered me two models of their A11 Type 44. As said, a very accurate reissue of this old military model. And when I say accurate, I really mean it, or they really mean it, because one of these watches come with a case size of 32 millimeters. And I'm very tolerant when it comes to vintage watches with a, let's say, smaller diameter, but 32 is really small. And I thought you cannot wear that. In fact, I've worn it for an entire week. More of that later. But I thought, well, you can see it as a demonstration piece to demonstrate history. Just this is the way it looked back then. And then I found out that they have also a 38 millimeter version, so slightly upgraded, slightly enlarged to make it more contemporary. And then I thought, great idea. Let's order both. The little watch, the small watch and the big watch, and then you can put them side by side. And I found out that they offer modern loom, so white loom and artificial aged loom. And so I thought, all right, let's order both variants. And so I can compare now small watch, big watch, and both loom types. And I think after that we can make a profound decision if it's worth it or not. And without further ado, let's start. Okay, let's start small here with the 32 millimeter version, A11 Type 44 with 32 millimeters. And as said, I'm pretty tolerant when it comes to smaller watches. But even I thought 32 is a very small watch, a very unusual look. And the other specifications are as followed. We have a length lug to lug here of 39 millimeters. Height is 13, so relatively high for that small watch. We have a lug width of 16, which creates an extra problem. More of that later. Now about the movement, this is kind of an unusual choice. Because first, we have a Soprod P024. This is not unusual. This is a normal Swiss-made movement, but it's an automatic. And when I was wearing that watch here the first time, I automatically thought that it's not automatic, that it's hand wound. So I wound it and then I realized, wait a second, this P024 is an automatic. This is an automatic movement, but I cannot feel any form of rotor here. And then I found on their website the hint that the automatic function was removed by Soprod, especially for these watch editions here, to give it a more, let's say, historic feel. And first I was really willing to see that as a minus, but I have to admit the hand wound function here works great, feels great, works properly. The entire movement works properly, very precise. And so I think, yeah, it's a bit strange really, but I can't see over this because, yeah, it's a pleasure to wind this watch and it fits the style of the watch absolutely to wind it every morning. Normal crown, so not screwed down, but the watch is waterproof up to 100 meters, which is a clear plus for me. Because with this type of watch, I think most of us had tolerated only 50 meters water resistance, but we have 100, which is really nice. And interesting to know is that this watch comes with a plexi crystal with a coating, with a anti-reflective coating, and this works. See that? This really works nice. If I go directly in front of a strong light source, then it fails, but look at this under normal circumstances, just nice. And of course this is a bold decision to equip the watch with a plexi, but if from the historic perspective it's absolutely correct. So this is a very nice watch. I've worn it actually, I think, an entire week because it fits my wrist. Let's put it on the wrist, then you can see what I mean. See, it's very small, relatively high, but enormous presence on the wrist. Enormous presence on the wrist. So we really can see here that case diameter doesn't tell you everything you need to know. This is a really pretty dominant watch, goes together with many garments, and so I was very happy about that look here and that size. And here another nice surprise, the lume is absolutely incredible. I've taken these images with a rather crappy iPhone, no alteration needed, no editing with Photoshop, it's just as it is, and it's great. And my only real criticism here is the strap, because I've worn this a set, I think a week, and this leather strap feels kind of foamy, really like foam. See this? There is genuine leather, the mark here, all good, but it feels foamy and it's not very attractive, to be honest. I mean, these vintage watches weren't equipped always with high-end straps, I get it, but this is a bit, I don't know. And you see that it's constructed with 4 layers of very thin material. And this is basically a cheap sandwich production method, and so I'm not so happy with that. But the problem I've mentioned, of course, is that you cannot buy so many nice straps for this lug width of 16. You have to find a lady strap, and lady straps are short, and so this creates a bit of a problem. So actually you need a lady's strap for larger wrists, which is a bit crazy, and I think it's hard to buy. So I think this is at least important to know. This might create a bit of trouble. Maybe you need a custom-made strap then. But overall, I'm very happy with the presence and the build quality, attention to detail. This here is scratched, by the way, because it's a used watch that doesn't reflect, of course, the final product here. And operating the watch here is basic. And you have one position, hackable movement, and it feels very good. Tight connection between crown and action here, and so feels very, very precise and good. Okay, but now let's compare it with our next watch. Very interesting. Here I opted for beige lume, the 38mm version of the watch, and now you really can see some differences here. It's really another watch, and I'm beginning to understand why you guys don't like this patina so much. I get it. I've always seen it as a color, just the beige color, but yeah, now I get it. Really, it's a bit more fresh, this look here, and so I understand. You see that the ingredients are pretty much the same. Same movement, same build quality, same plexi, of course bigger, also with an anti-reflective coating, which works really fine. Both watches are legible as hell, really. 100-meter water resistance also, but of course the lug-to-lug length here is bigger with 45 millimeters, and you have a convenient 20mm lug width, so you can pair this watch with everything you want. And by the way, look at this. This is exactly why many people like plexi. It offers this absolutely clean and undisturbed look. Of course you can scratch it easily, of course you can polish it easily, and so no problem. And you operate this watch with the same one position, or the first position. There's only one position, and you see, hackable again, and this just feels good. This feels really, really good. Sometimes I don't like when you have so much play here between the components, but this is just well made. But now you may ask, what's this? What's this strange thing here on the watch? This is a so-called bone clip bracelet, and I believe that it was invented in the 40s for such a watch. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've never seen this before. I've only read a few informations about this bracelet, and I had to figure out how to use it. And actually it's pretty simple. You have this clip here. Actually simple, he said, and then you couldn't. Damn it. And there you go. You have here this end link, and then you can pull the bracelet through this end link until your bracelet size is reached, and then you can just close it by putting this link against, or in such a gap, and then it's closed, and then you're good to go. And this is of course a very special look. And there you go. Very fresh look. Again, it's my first time that I'm wearing such a bracelet, so my experiences here are very, very limited, but I like the look, and more I like the feel, because it's super comfortable. It's almost like a NATO strap, but doesn't create the height of a NATO. And so yeah, there you go, 38mm on a 17cm wrist, and you see, for me, you're pretty decent size. And of course you can equip this watch with other straps because the 20 millimeters here is so convenient. And they delivered some samples like this straps. I'm not sure, I mean it looks okay, but it's the same construction like this straps. So I think it will be, focus please, it will be foamy. And again, these 4 layers here, there's no need to construct such a strap with 4 layers, I'm not sure. But I mean, of course, the genre here doesn't command that you always put it on a super high-end strap. They've delivered something else. And this I find pretty cool. This is, yeah, pretty much a military strap, textile in green. And here's some leather on the other side. And this thing I pretty much like. This is, I mean, not necessarily for me, not together with a white shirt, but if you're a bit casual during the day and you like to wear something casual, I think this could be a very, very nice combo. And this thing feels sturdy. I think this thing will survive really some time. Very, very nice combo. Prices now, very simple, $595 US. At least their website stated this for the last batch, and so I think this will be the price here. So we are in the region 650 in euros, 650. And I think we all have the tendency that we see a rather simple watch like this one, a small watch, and we think, so small and so expensive. But if you see especially the movement, the build quality, I think it's at the upper end what you can charge here. But it's not, it's realistic, let's say. It's realistic. And you really have something special here, especially with this bone clip bracelet. And I would buy it with that thing here, definitely, because it's so special, even if you don't like it now. Maybe in half a year or so, you enjoy this. I mean, imagine this in the summer. It could look pretty decent, pretty cool. And so I'm personally very happy with the decision to order these watches for this review. But now I unfortunately have to send them back. Okay, welcome back. And now availability. I've checked the Praesidus website in early February. The last time there, the watch was still marked as sold out, but they're waiting for the next batch. So if you're interested, all you have to do is wait a couple more days. And speaking of waiting, I've waited a couple of days for the Christopher Ward Dune, and now it's on the wrist. The bronze model, I put it on a Caseback number 2 strap because I really like the color play, the contrast here. And I have some other pretty cool watches coming for the next week. So I'm looking forward to produce more content here. But that's it for this video now. If you want to see something like that here on in form of a sneak preview, then as always, join me on Instagram, Caseback Watches _Tim. And now let me thank you very much for your attention, and until next time.